this movie, the Indominus Rex ate like 3 or 4 people once it got out, and then had to go take a nap.
It had strict parents all its life controlling its diet, and then it turned 20 and just bought junk food and binged, and then just hit the food coma.
You mean I can just eat Lucky Charms every morning and nobody cares?
Dude, that moment when you like have a real job for the first time and you go into a grocery store and there's just a cake and you just could buy a fucking cake.
You're like, wait, I have all this money, cereal's $5. Look out.
We're getting everything.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me as always are my two beautiful co-hosts, Abel Stoika.
Hello.
And Mason Winter.
Hello.
Today we are talking about Jurassic fucking World. The Jurassic World. Florida's Jurassic Park, if you will.
I forgot this was supposed to be a Christmas movie.
What? Oh yeah, it starts at Christmas.
I think they kind of dropped that.
I think that first scene...
Like they would have had like people in like Santa hats and stuff there if they were actually trying to make it a Christmas movie. It should have been like, I don't know, like Thanksgiving or something. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They're just going there. That's all you need to know.
That's gonna, in Abel's ranking, Mason, that's gonna knock this movie down a whole point. I bet you money, huh, Mason?
You become absent-minded a little bit when you're in peril, I think. You've kind of got a lot of stuff to focus on.
You think I'm in peril right now?
I also don't think it's...
I'm talking about the people who died. The lives that were lost on Isla Nublar.
I'm talking about the first act, though. There's nothing Christmassy about it other than the fact that they say it's Christmas before they even get to the airport.
Do they say it's Christmas?
They just don't mention it. Yes, they do.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
You're the only one who noticed that I've ever talked to about this movie.
I know. That's why I took a note for it and I brought it up immediately. Carter, what else happens after they say it's Christmas in this movie?
Oh, okay. I'm doing it this time. It's Jurassic World. It's an operational theme park. It's been operating for a couple years. It's really successful and profitable. And our main cast is Claire. I forgot her last name, but Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. And she's like the manager of the park. She manages the day-to-day shit. We've got her two nephews who are coming to visit because she hasn't seen them in 7 years. And Chris Pratt, who's a former Navy guy who trains velociraptors. They are doing their jobs in the park, and then Claire is like, "Hey, we have this new attraction. It's a fucking hybrid dinosaur, and it looks like a combination of a T-Rex and a velociraptor. This is our new dinosaur. It's called the Indominus Rex." And the Indominus Rex...
But it's a secret of what it is.
It's a secret. They can't tell you what they can't tell you what its DNA is, even though it looks like a velociraptor and a T-Rex had a baby. That's what it looks like. And the Indominus gets out because it tricks them, because it's got a bunch of special powers, and it tricks them. And then when it gets out, it starts hunting everything for sport, including people. And the owners of the park are invested in their corporate interests, and they're like, just get it quietly, don't evacuate anybody. And their way to get it quietly is to blow up their own aviary pen. And then all the pterodactyls get out, and they cause some havoc. And then, I don't know, some more stuff happens, and then all the main cast are together, and then the velociraptors... Oh yeah, the velociraptors turn on the people, but then they don't at the very end for the climactic battle. And then in the climactic battle, the Velociraptor and the T-Rex team up to kill the Indominus Rex, and also the Mosasaur does it. And then Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, they smooch. And then the two nephews go home and are never seen from again in this franchise.
I forgot that they never come back.
Yeah, they don't come back. Which is fine.
You think in 20 years when they reboot it like a third time that they'll bring them back as like legacy cameos?
I don't think they're gonna reboot it. I think based off what they're doing with this new one that's coming out, they're just gonna keep being like, yeah, but like, what if we did this? You know? Let's just
Yeah, but like they did that with Dominion, where they had Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill, all of them come back.
And that one's the worst one. It's by and large, it's by far the worst one of this franchise.
That one's so bad.
It's really bad. The bad guy in it is Bugs.
Bugs.
So
I can't believe I spent money to watch that movie.
Anyway,
this one though, I did have a good time.
Yeah, this is a good movie.
I like this movie.
This one finally, the other Jurassic Park movies, the first one I think does it the best. It does the whole, hey, corporations are bad. The second one and the third one are more like, oh shit, dinosaurs are scary.
I mean, I feel like they each take like a different approach to it. Like this one has the Vincent D'Onofrio military-industrial complex kind of side plot going on, and then the Fallen Kingdom is like about black market dinosaur dealing, which is super stupid, but
right. But it's also the company that made them lying. It's about that corporation. Like if they don't have they'll make their own market if they don't have one.
Yeah.
I wrote down a 2-part note about this, and hear me out fully. Don't raise your eyebrows at first. This is going to sound wild.
Okay.
I'm going to raise them at second.
There was 2 elements of this movie that I felt like were realistic. Now, obviously dinosaurs, we haven't done that. But if we did...
We kind of did.
Now
we brought direwolves back, kind of.
Kind of. I can agree with you there. I think we're on track.
But also, DNA degrades really fast, so we can't bring dinosaurs back because the DNA is degraded. Yeah. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
The 2 things, if it were possible, that I felt like were realistic about this version, the more modern as opposed to the original Jurassic Park. In this one, I think it's totally feasible that the company who created these creatures will push it to the limit, trying to create something absurd that's not real to draw in more money.
Yeah.
That felt realistic to me. And the other thing that felt 100%. Realistic to me is that the thing that would go wrong in this park is an unsupervised kid who is like, hey, let's wander off and let's go get into trouble. That will definitely happen if you leave children unsupervised in this place.
Yes.
No. Also, don't give them free roaming balls that you can just like drive around to wherever.
That was the thing.
You can just turn manual all of a sudden and be like, let's go off the beaten path.
What the fuck? They don't even let you do that. They don't even let you do that at like Disneyland. Like there's a ride where you drive a car, right? But your car...
They had that right in the first Jurassic Park. You couldn't control those Jeeps.
The Jeeps are on a track. Like you can't... The Jeeps are on a track. Those fucking spheres should have been on a track. I think my favorite scene in this movie is when the CEO goes to fuck with Dr... What's the scientist's name? Henry.
Oh, yeah.
The scientist from the first one. And he's in this one. It's clear that he was trying to make a weapon. Like, that was his intent in making the Indominus Rex, was to make something that could camouflage and cover its heat. And, every reason he gives for why he put in a bunch of random-ass DNA is so weak, and he seems so excited when the CEO is like, yeah, and he fucking teleported. He's like, no way, he fucking teleported? That's sick. You know, he loves all the powers that the Indominus has. And when we get to quotes,
in his head, he's like, I've outdone myself.
he is. And when we get to quotes, I'm going to do his whole monologue because it's such a great monologue. And it's what I was talking about on the last episode, where the goal of Jurassic Park is stated to be we want to know more about dinosaurs. We want people to give people the opportunity to see dinosaurs, its beauty and wonder. But really, the corporate goal of dinosaurs is to sell them and to make money and to make monsters for the military to use.
Mm-hmm. Actually, do you almost feel like... I almost feel like this CEO maybe is more compassionate about the dinosaurs than John Hammond was.
I think he is. I think he's also, though, he definitely
but
is.
His only character trait was that he can fly helicopters now. And so that causes problems.
Well, also, he clearly cares more. He also cares about his profit, because there is that part where everyone in the control room is like, hey, we got to shut the park down. Like, the scariest thing got out. We have to shut the fucking park down, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we don't. Chill out. They'll handle it. And Chris Pratt is like, no, they won't. Send people home. And he's like, nah, man, no.
I think it's because the CEO, I don't think, was as hands-on with that creature. And Chris Pratt had now experienced its intelligence and the other things that it could do. So he knew how much of a threat it was. And I think the CEO was of the mind, like any little incident like this that probably happened before, the personnel that they now have on hand, which is a lot more than in the first Jurassic Park, now you have a sizable staff to at least try and contain any sort of incidents.
Mm-hmm.
And so I assume he was like, oh, it'll just be taken care of like every other one. But Chris Pratt was like, no, dude, you've made something that is, it's going to kill us all.
It literally is purpose built to kill everything and anything.
And then I think you could see that on the CEO's face during the scene where you slowly watch all of the soldiers' vitals flatline as they just get picked off. That I kind of like. That's a good scene.
That was a great scene. That shot where the Indominus picks up that guy and he like chomps him and the blood pours through the leaves
onto the other dude, and yeah, the camera's looking up through the leaves.
That's a great shot.
It's really obscured, but you can see it.
You're like, whoa, fuck, that guy got mangled. That dude's. I hope that dude didn't survive. Fuck, Jesus. But I really like this, but I think it did a really good job of like putting a modern action movie spin on Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I mean, obviously with technology, the dinosaurs look incredible.
And they use CGI the way it's supposed to be used, where you have animatronics and then you add in CGI to like pump it up. Because the most realistic looking thing is when Chris Pratt is with that sauropod, the long neck dinosaur.
Yeah, who's wounded on the ground.
Yeah. That's an animatronic that they kind
of... And
he's
physically interacting with it, touching it. Yeah.
It looks great. There's a lot of shit in this movie that looks fucking incredible.
This movie came out 10 years ago and it still looks like top of the line.
Yeah.
Like CGI wise. Like, I feel like we've kind of peaked with CGI.
I do too. Look,
it could be now that companies are just throwing unnecessary money at it because they think that will result in a better product.
I mean, like there's like Avatar 2 that's newer, and that feels like a lot of that wasn't possible, even when Jurassic World came out. I guess what I mean is in terms of Jurassic World movies and Jurassic Park movies and these dinosaur movies in real life, like a live action movie with CGI dinosaurs, I don't know how much better you can get than this.
Right. I don't think the dinosaurs can look more real than they look.
Yeah.
I think they look great. I think this is a really solid, good movie.
It's kind of underrated, honestly.
It is.
That's what I kind of realized after rewatching.
$1.5 billion.
Yeah. Well, all the Jurassic Parks make a ton of money because people like seeing dinosaurs.
I think people initially want to just write it off because it's a remake, or a reboot, but it's well done.
It's good.
At least the first one.
It's a crisp 2 hours, and only like 50 minutes of that is the third act.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually, I don't know. I like the runtime, but the third act is so long, but it almost like doesn't even matter.
It also nails
because you feel like you're getting to the end of it, And then that's when the reveal happens where the raptors turn and you realize the Indominus is part raptor and you're like, okay. And then that's the like second half of the third act.
Yeah, there's like, they justify it. It never feels like it's wasting your time.
No.
I have a few notes. I hate that twist. And it's the
You
only
don't like it?
it's the only part of this movie I hate, and there's a couple reasons I dislike it. First off, it implies that one, raptors have complex communication, right? Which we haven't heard, but animals do that. So I'm not going to deny that. I can't. If dolphins and fucking belugas can do it, a raptor can do it. I could suspend my disbelief for that.
Well, there's different methods of communication.
Right, but this is I have two problems with it. One, the
In order to coordinate and pack hunt like wolves or any animal that does it, you have to have some sort of communication.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The whole part of the first part of the movie where Owen Grady, Chris Pratt's character, is like, hey, this thing is going to fucking kill things because it's not socialized. It has no social skills, which is important, even for animals. That all falls apart the second the raptors show up, and it's like, I'm the boss now, and I know how to most just instinctually, which isn't how any animal that works in a group works. But that's just my nerd reason for not liking it. The more important reason I don't like it is because it's not surprising at all, because if you look at the fucking thing, you know? The more surprising twist would have been if it was part human. That's way more of like a scientific taboo. That's way more of like a oh fuck moment, is if it's part human being. Because then that explains like,
don't they do that in the next one?
no, that thing's just a smaller version of the Indominus. They make a human.
Oh no, there's a human that's part dinosaur.
Right, they make a human clone. They make a full-blown clone with the technology that they got. It's not It's not even a dinosaur girl. She's just a clone, and the premise of that, like the crux of her arc, is she goes, hey, maybe we shouldn't just kill all these fucking dinosaurs because they're clones and I'm a clone. And if they're easily discarded, then I'm easily discarded. So we should set them free. That's her character arc in the next one. But the Indominate... and
then after that, they should have just gone, what if we made a half human, half dinosaur? That would be a cool movie. Instead, they went with bugs.
Bugs. What if bugs?
There's bugs in this one.
What if bugs in this one? What if Laura Dern is fighting bugs in this one? But yeah, I don't...
oh my god, there's too many bugs.
These bugs are really
disgusting, right? They're really bugging me.
But that's my problem with it is that, one, it's not a surprising enough twist, and two, for the twist to work, it fights against logic you used in the first half. Because if they hadn't said that shit and then it could talk to the raptors, I can suspend my disbelief for that. But they said it wasn't socialized and then it had no social skills and then it had all the social skills and the twist. I just don't. It's not a good twist. I think it's a poor twist. I don't think it's a poor villain or a poor monster, but I do think the twist is bad.
Like they didn't even have to make it a twist, because what does that really change?
No, because like there's that scene, there's the look of shock on Owen Grady's face when he's like, he's part raptor, and I'm like, dog, you went into this being like the raptors are gonna turn on us just because they're fucking raptors. Like you went into this like this plan was fucked. The whole point of like the previous two scenes in the movie before the awesome raptor motorcycle bit was that the raptors barely listen to you and you've been training them since they were born. You know, like
he's like supposed to be the smartest guy in the movie and smarter than everybody about the dinosaurs, and he couldn't figure out that thing that looks kind of like a raptor is a raptor.
Well, not even that, because he said the plan wasn't going to work, and then when it didn't, he seemed a little shocked because they ran around with him while he was on his motorcycle. You know?
Yeah.
Like that whole sequence is badass. I won't deny that is a great shot. The raptors running around him as he's on the motorcycle, that's fucking awesome. But the twist should have been that the Raptors were like, all right, we fuck with you, Owen Grady. Who the fuck are all these other guys? We don't fuck with these guys at all.
Okay, script doctor right here.
Script doctor.
If they,
New segment,
like,
script
say
doctor.
If they knew the whole time that it was Raptor, half Raptor, and then there's like a point made towards the beginning where Chris Pratt's like, yeah, so these Raptors, our squad, listen to me because we've been socialized together. Like, we all know each other. I am in charge. We're a pack. And then this other dinosaur, even though he's part raptor, this plan is going to work at the end of the movie because there's no social skills there with the Indominus Rex. The Indominus Rex doesn't know how to communicate or be in a pack or whatever. Like, it's not even on his mind that this is a possibility. And then the Indominus Rex developed those social skills on the fly and is able to do that because it's so smart or whatever. If that was how it was portrayed in the movie, I feel like that would be a lot more effective and a lot more like believable than just, oh, I didn't know he's part raptor.
Yeah.
And now since they're all raptors and he's the biggest one, then he's in charge. Like, it didn't feel like they really explained that as being what happened. So that's what I would have done in hindsight.
I mean, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it fucking looks like a raptor. It looks like you upscaled a raptor.
That thing is huge. It's funny that they went, it's part T-Rex, part raptor, and it's bigger than both.
Well, that would make sense. Ligers are bigger than lions and tigers.
Are they really?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a quirk with whatever.
Huh.
There's some part of their genetic code that, like, it takes away the max size limit on them.
Exponential growth right there.
It's not exponential, but it's fucking big. They're big.
It's a stockholder's favorite animal.
Oh, a stockholder loves a liger.
Oh, you ever heard of ligers? They don't stop growing. They can just get as big as fuck.
Invest in ligers.
Liger stock, dude.
Invest in ligers. Right, they're the future. Anyway, Mason, what did you think of the twist?
I don't mind it.
Fair.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal, I feel like.
It's not. I'm just a big fucking animal nerd. Like, I watch... Mason can attest to this. Mason, I spend a lot of my time watching documentaries about fucking animals. Like, I know too much. For a guy who doesn't have, like, a biology degree and could never do anything with the information, I know far too much about animals, and I make my friends listen to too many facts about animals.
I think I hit less animal ones now. Like, blanket nature. If it's a specific animal, depending on the animal, I think I can still do it.
Yeah, but you've always been more of a real event doc guy than me.
Because I don't read the news, so I'm like, what? This happened?
Yeah, that's true. I already knew those events happened. I'm like, yes, I read about. Yeah. You'll come to me and you'll be like, yo, I just watched a documentary about the war in Iran and it was really fucking stupid. And I'll be like, mm-hmm. It was really fucking
like, Carter, did you know we were in Iran?
Do you know we're back, Mason?
It's a good thing this is the first time we're going to be there.
Yeah. First and last. Yay!
Yeah. We're going to end all the wars, dude. Didn't you hear?
There was 2 shout-outs to the original that I liked in this movie. The first one was the CEO referencing John Hammond and saying, as our former CEO would always like to say, spare no expense. So he said that in the beginning. And then when the nephews are lost in the park and they stumble upon the old building from the old park.
Yeah.
And there's like the old Jeeps and they find the night vision goggles from the first movie on a shelf.
And they really quickly fix like an engine that's been dead for like 30 odd years, 20 odd years.
Dude, you can't, they're not going to, Carter, you can't fix an engine real time on screen. That's boring. It didn't take them 10 minutes. And they had experience.
They probably just put a new battery in and changed the oil. You can do that. That's not that long. They didn't have to do anything. You just gave it a jump, changed the oil.
I gotta do that tomorrow.
I do like how they keep the wonder that the first one, like the sense of wonder that the first one had, but they use it a lot differently. Like in the first one, the wonder is holy shit dinosaurs. And in this one, the wonder is kind of focused more on like the park, right? Like, oh, look at all the shit you can do at this park. Look at this fucking mosasaur.
In the beginning, the younger kid running around and looking at everything. Yes.
Like the hologram dinosaurs, which he uses to distract a velociraptor, which I thought was awesome.
All the like, there's like kid-centric like educational facilities to teach them about dinosaurs, but then there's also like stuff about genetics and like all kinds of stuff.
And you can little kids can ride baby triceratops that seem miserable.
So cute, but so sad.
It's so cute, but I watched it, and as a kid, I would have been like, I want to fucking ride a dinosaur. But also, as a adult watching, you go, oh my god, no.
It wants to cry.
No, it's just a baby. When that fucking pterodactyl or whatever picked up that baby triceratops, I was gonna throw hands. I was like, shoot that motherfucker. They had the best deaths in this movie by far. The way the nanny gets killed,
it's iconic.
Oh, that was awesome.
Is fucking
the
insane.
way Morgana from Merlin gets killed.
She gets killed by 3 different dinosaurs. She is, and I've seen.
I loved it when she gets carried away and then gets tossed around by a bunch of fucking pterodactyls, and then goes underwater a bunch, and then gets eaten by a pterodactyl. Kind of, well, is held by a pterodactyl while it gets eaten by the Mosasaurus, I think.
Yep.
This whole sequence takes like 45 seconds, and it's just a hard cut to the nephews, and they've just been sitting there watching the whole time, and then they react and then run away.
I mean, you would be transfixed.
Like, in real time. They should have been running. Like,
I don't know, dude.
You see her get got and you go, I don't want to be next. I gotta run.
Sometimes you gotta watch. The first time I watched this was like, yo, that character did not deserve that death. That's crazy. But then I heard that her...
No, but she's cannon fodder.
But the actress asked for the most brutal death. That's what she when they cast her, she was like, I just want to die in a really cool way. I want my character to die in a really cool way.
You remember, Carter, how I was just rewatching Merlin?
Yeah.
She's in it. She's like a main.
Yeah, you said she's Morgana.
She's evil, bro. She's an evil witch.
Yeah, Morgana is an evil witch of Arthurian legend. Yes. Is it bad that I watched the first season of Merlin, so I know a lot of what Mason's talking about, but mostly I know the plot points of Merlin because I know about the King Arthur myth? Is that bad? That's really nerdy. That's not good.
No,
I mean,
it's to my knowledge they based the show off the myth. So
I know, but what
sense?
It's to my knowledge.
I love the gyrosphere scene that Jimmy Fallon is like the narrator and he's like doing a lesson.
He's a corporate shill, Jimmy Fallon.
No, this is a really authentic performance to yourself, Jimmy.
I thought it was good. That's very theme park, though.
They for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
They nailed, like, you believe this is a functioning theme park. Like, you really...
It's a little too real.
And the part where they close it down and it's just some fucking 18-year-old kid who's like...
Although I kind of like that, though, in, like, certain modern movies where they have to film, like, fake... like news or media scenes, and they just ask podcasters to film a fake bit, like talking about, whatever's going on in the movie. I kind of like those. It's
really good. I like it. I love how much this is a real, because when they shut it down and they like the fucking 18-year-old has to be like, we're closed, and everybody starts screaming at him. He's like, guys, I just work here.
He has to pull out the handbook because he doesn't know the proper directions to give them because they've never had to do this before.
The only thing that I'm thinking about it too much. That scene works perfectly when you're watching the movie. You totally believe it. The only thing that doesn't work about it is that he's like the whitest dude ever, and the theme park is off the coast of Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do want to know, is he like on like a Is he on like a Disney World style work study program? What's the deal with Jurassic World's hiring practices? Because like there seems to be not a lot of fucking locals being hired. I must say, I'm putting my fucking foot down. I'm saying there's not a lot of local hirings going on at Jurassic World. It seems like, which I'm not for that. If you're gonna have a thing in a place, fucking bolster the economy, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's a island that you own, and it doesn't seem to be part of a country, so you can just make the minimum wage whatever you want.
I don't think that's true. John Hammond says he leases it from the government.
From the Costa Rican government?
Yeah, he leases it. So he does pay an annual fee to have it there, to have his park there.
Gotcha.
I have 2 more notes, and they're dinosaur-centric.
Perfect. This is the perfect movie to say those notes.
Great. The first one, even though it's now more common knowledge that dinosaurs were like, most of them were feathered, and none of these are feathered, but there is an element of bird-like characteristic that I really like in it, where there's really cool videos online of people holding hawks and falcons and moving their bodies around, and their head just stabilizes and stays in one place so that when they're like diving on prey, they can lock onto it and not lose it. And in that scene where Chris Pratt is riding the motorcycle with the raptors through the forest, they're zooming and their heads are just steady on one plane the entire time. And it's a really cool detail I like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
And then the second one, the climax, I love that they pull the T-Rex out to body slam the fucking Indominus Rex. It's awesome.
Well, that's what you want. That really they worked backwards. They were like,
T-Rex is the OG.
Yeah. And Indominus is the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
Also, not to, again.
And then T-Rex is like, hey, you didn't know about my buddy the mosasaur either? We're going to double team you.
You didn't know about my water buddy? You didn't know I had... Okay, this is another... I know too much about animals. The T-Rex's first move is he grabs... He bites the Indominus on the neck, right? That's lights out for the Indominus. The bite force of a T-Rex is like... Unless the Indominus has fucking adamantium bones, unless they put some Wolverine DNA up in that bitch... I mean the superhero, not the animal Wolverine. That fucker's gone.
The adamantium is not part of his DNA, by the way.
I just thought of this, but the Indominus Rex got body checked by Kobe, and he was like, "Oh, you want to go?" And then Shaq put his lights out of nowhere.
I also this is the last like this is an action movie thing in this movie is when the Velociraptor and the T-Rex have like a good work, brother, and then they go their separate ways.
Oh yeah.
They have like also, these predatory... I get it for the Indominus. They explain it for the Indominus. But predatory animals don't just fight other predatory animals. They actually try to avoid that as much as they can. Because they don't know if they'll win. The animals don't do a lot of, like, fighting.
Epic battling.
They don't do a lot of epic battling. I don't know if you know,
there's no animal, like, hospitals in the wild, generally.
Yeah. They don't fuck with each other. They just, like...
If they're hurt, they die.
Yeah. Like... Most of the time, predatory animals will be like, all right, I have to eat, so I have to go kill a thing. But if they see a thing that's like their same size, both of those animals almost always are like, I'm not going to fuck with you. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to leave you alone. The only time they don't do that is when there's the same species and they're fighting over like territory or like mating rights. And they're like, hey, bro, I'd actually like to have some kids. And the other one's like, well, so would I. And then they fight. And then usually they don't kill each other. There's not a lot of fucking... There's not a lot of verses happening in the animal kingdom. But whatever, it's a dinosaur movie. We love dinosaurs.
Scorpion versus praying mantis.
Do you remember that show? Was that on fucking Discovery?
It was like, dude, it had to be that or Animal Planet. And Animal Planet is gonna have some answering to do if that's the case.
Silverback gorilla versus grizzly bear.
That's
And
the
they didn't
age-old debate.
They didn't actually have them fight. They made like they did like approximations. They were like, this is the bite force of a grizzly.
It was like Deadliest Warrior or something. Was this show where they would do that? They would pit like samurais versus medieval knights, and what they would do is run a computer simulation, and whichever side won more times, they would give it to them.
Right. That doesn't seem fun.
Yeah, as like a 13-year-old, I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
Navy
What if
SEALs versus Spetsnaz? Like,
what if Leonidas fought Hannibal? What would happen? What would go down? Who do you think would win, a T-Rex or Hannibal with an elephant? Who do you think would win?
that's a lot of elephants.
It's a lot of elephants.
I'm
I mean,
giving it
with
to
one
Hannibal.
elephant. I mean, with one.
What are we doing here?
But
What kind of
Hannibal's there too.
hypothetical shit is this?
Hannibal's there. He's got a spear.
Hannibal does all of the campaigning to amass this army and his elephants, and you're only giving him one elephant to fight with?
I'll give him 2 elephants. I'll give him fucking 2 elephants.
In his strategic mind, I'm giving it to Hannibal. 2 elephants in his mind, it's over. That's 3 brains.
It's like a Pokemon battle. Oh my god, do you guys remember Dino King?
The
Not
ancient
you,
psychic
Abel.
tandem war elephant.
No, not the ancient psychic tandem war elephant.
Not you, Abel. No, I don't remember.
Fucking Mason, did you ever watch Dinosaur King? It was like Pokemon, but dinosaurs.
Oh, I think I have seen this.
They start little and then they
I
throw a card
vaguely remember it.
and they become CGI full-size dinosaurs.
I don't think so. What am I thinking?
Oh, I think I played the DS game at a friend's house.
You played the DS game at a friend's house?
That's how I remember it.
This sounds fake. That sounds fake. The main guy,
There's a sealed booster box of it that is going on eBay for $800.
holy shit.
Oh, I think I was thinking of Digimon. I was trying to Google something.
War Greymon.
Oh wait, you were making fun of me for playing the game.
No,
It started as a game.
I wasn't making fun of you for playing the game. I was saying not you, Abel, because I was making fun of the idea of playing your friend's DS at a friend's house. Like DSs are portable, bro.
That was all you had.
DSs are portable, bro.
So we traded it. I didn't have a DS.
Wow, you didn't have a DS. You didn't have fucking cable TV. Were you even a child? Were you a child?
I had a Wii.
Yeah, everybody had a Wii.
Yeah, in their childhood.
Child.
I was a child. Proven.
Prove it. Nah, dude, you're some kind of fucking Jurassic Park experiment. They cloned you and you came out at 19. That's facts.
They cloned me. I came out half adult male, half dinosaur.
Abel's got raptor DNA. We're fucked.
Yeah, but I got the social skills of a human.
Of an Indominus.
A Gen Z male.
Abel does. Gen Z dudes do have the social skills of Indominus Rex.
Abel's
That's
never been
factual.
socialized, so he just kills everybody that he comes into contact with.
Dude, that's
I just tell him I'm the alpha dog.
that's Gen Z dudes, man. They fucking they are not socialized, man. They're not. I should say we're not.
They're not domesticated.
Dude, okay, I have younger siblings, and Mason, I know you have a younger sibling, but they're a lot closer in age. Kids born post 2008, they're fucked in the head, dude. They're genuinely, they're fucked in the head. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to say anymore.
You think it's the iPads or the financial crisis?
I don't know. I think it's the fact that I genuinely think it's an Indominus Rex situation. I don't think they were socialized.
Damn, all these kids got Indominus Rexed.
They did. They're all
No,
Indominus
not
Rex
eaten by a
coded.
dinosaur.
They're all Indominus Rex coded, and then every Gen Z kid born before 2008 is sitting here like, what the fuck? What's happening? This doesn't make sense.
Do you think Indominus Rex would like Cocomelon?
Dude, I think Indominus Rex would be transfixed by Cocomelon. I honestly... Honestly, that's how they should have beaten it. They should have just started playing Cocomelon on an iPad. Really, what happened is that they took Indominus Rex's iPad away. That's why he did the whole "I'm gonna get out of this cage" because they took his iPad away. Oh, I have one more point to make.
It better be what you talked about last week.
What? No, I'm saving that for quotes. I have the whole monologue about quotes.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm saying. What? What are you talking about?
We haven't even talked about Jake Johnson.
Dude, Jake Johnson is in this movie. I love Jake Johnson. I love him in things. He's really good in this.
Basically, anytime he's on screen, he's hilarious in this.
Yeah. He's good. There's that scene where he's gonna. That scene with the other control room worker is hilarious. When she's like, "I have a boyfriend." And he's like,
he starts to step towards her as if he's gonna lean in to kiss her, and she goes, "Oh, I have a boyfriend." Like,
and he goes, "Really?" And he goes, well, "Why don't you never talk about him?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm at work.
I'm at work.
I'm at work."
We're coworkers, dude.
In the beginning, he has a Jurassic Park original T-shirt he bought off eBay.
Yes.
And Claire's like, "You don't think that's in bad taste?"
It's so good.
And then the Indominus
trashy.
The Indominus breaks out initially, and Chris Pratt gets pissed, and he just knocks everything off Jake's desk. Jake gets bullied throughout this movie.
He does. I also like that everybody in this movie just immediately recognizes that Chris Pratt is the most badass person in the movie.
Your
in this universe.
Badass.
Like, literally, there's a scene where the kids have not met him. All they've seen him do is get knocked down by a dinosaur. And when they're like, "Hey, we want to stick with you," Claire's like, "Oh, of course, I'm never letting you out of my sight." And they both go, "No, with him."
I wrote the quote. "Can we stay with you?" No, him.
That's a good one.
It's good. There's a lot of good, there's pretty funny lines in this.
Do we go into quotes on?
I have a few more notes that I'd like to hit.
All right, Abel.
Back to the beginning of the movie before they've left. The mom is like, "You guys are going to have so much fun." All I'm thinking is, have these people non-existed in the universe that the first 3 movies are set in? Does everybody not know like what happened there?
To be fair,
1, 2, and 3 got swept under the rug.
Well, honestly, they probably did, because to be fair, the Jurassic Park wasn't open and the public didn't know about it. Like, they were still making it. That was the preliminary test, and it was like 6 people.
They were like trying to get insurance.
But the people who were there knew.
The second and third
they're
one.
Like public.
In the second one, some dinosaurs get loose in San Diego. So that one, that's public, because the T-Rex gets loose in San Diego. But the rest of that movie is that it's a private company. It's the company capturing the dinosaurs because they want to build a park in San Diego. That's how they get out in San Diego. And then the third one is a little boy crash lands on the third island. So it's like a private, it's not even a...
It's lit. I love that one.
You just read in a news story like, "Oh, fuck. Some kid got fucking trapped on..."
It was like he and his dad were like... what is it? When you're in a parachute behind the boat, is it paragliding or
windsurfing? Isn't it windsurfing?
No, windsurfing.
No, you're right. It's paragliding. It's paragliding.
So yeah, they're getting towed by the boat, and he gets like loose, like the rope comes loose from the boat, and he glides onto the island, and then the dad freaks out, and they have to like bring a squad of people to go find the kid on the island.
Is that the one with William H. Macy?
It's the Spinosaurus one, dude.
What did you just fucking say to who? What did you say to me?
Spinosaurus. No, William H. Macy, the guy from... He's in like Fargo and Shameless and...
Yes, that is the one with him. He's the dad.
Okay. That is what I just said to you.
The second one is the one with Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum goes back. The third one, Alan Grant goes back. And Laura Dern saves him at the end.
I thought it would be really funny if this movie, the Indominus Rex, ate like 3 or 4 people once it got out and then had to go take a nap because it was full of food, and then it just kind of ate people at a leisurely pace for the rest of its time there until it got taken care of. Is that more realistic of what that an animal like that would do?
It had strict parents all its life controlling its diet, and then it turned 20 and just bought junk food and binged and then just hit the food coma.
You mean I can just eat Lucky Charms every morning and nobody cares?
Wait a minute, dude. That moment when you like have a real job for the first time and you go into a grocery store and there's just a cake and you just could buy a fucking cake. You're like, wait a minute.
You're like, wait, I have all this money. Every day. Cereal's $5. Look out.
We're getting everything.
Literally, there was a point when I think I was like 19 where I walked into the bakery section of a grocery store and I bought like 4 or 5 things, and then I brought them all home and I was like, I don't want all this. Why did I buy this? This is like this is too much.
You eat like one thing and you're like, damn, I kind of feel like shit.
And Mason can attest to this. I lived alone at the time, so it wasn't even like I could be like, hey, roommate, have this.
Have cookies.
If Jurassic World announced that it had like a hybrid dinosaur, I don't think I'd be all that interested.
I'm requesting a refund on my ticket.
I'd just be like, I kind of would be like, well, I'm going here to see the dinosaurs. And also the hybrid dinosaur they picked isn't like visually, like if it was like a Triceratops, Stegosaurus, or like some that looked like, that took like 2 crazy features from 2 completely different animals, that would be cool. But this one where it's just like a big raptor, I'd kind of be like, that's just a big raptor.
Well, didn't they say like they only had like X amount of dinosaurs on there? And it's like you could have so many other dinosaurs because there's a lot of them, or like just prehistoric creatures, like as long as you can get more DNA samples, which I'm sure as soon as they saw how much money they were printing from Jurassic World, that they would like hire a shit ton of people to go keep searching for it. You know?
Right.
I mean, like, I think I would just stray far away from Jurassic World as possible if it was real and it wasn't like that safe. I don't know. I'm not much of a risk taker when it comes to stuff like that.
I'd go.
Like, I don't want to go to... I'm never going to... If I was given the opportunity to go to Mars, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Unless the world's, like, exploding, like, literally exploding, I'm not going into space, man.
It's irrelevant when they show up in San Diego, Abel.
True.
Yeah, I don't want to go... Keep them away from me, man.
I mean, Abel does live in like a second-rate city that they would never try to build a dinosaur theme park in, so like, I guess he's safe. I guess. A little dig.
It's a nice place. Have you ever been?
Nope. It's by design.
Abel, there's one
reason. I mean, it is
reason
kind of like... They would probably put one in the fucking Mall of America.
There's one reason I would go, and it's to check off. I have one of my bucket list items is that I want to go to every ballpark in the country.
It's a nice ballpark. Mariners are coming next week.
Just to check that off my fucking list. Just to tick, and then I'm out of there. You won't catch me in the Mall of America. You might. I kind of want to see it. Mostly because I want to see how depraved America can be. You know, I want to see the people I make fun of all the time. I want to experience them.
There's like 4 Starbuckses. There's like 4 lids.
I live in the Valley in LA. That's as specific as I'm going to be. It's pretty fucking specific. There are 2 Trader Joe's across the street from each other within a mile from my house. They're literally across the street from each other. I have a video I sent my dad where I took a recording of one and I panned across the street and there was another one.
First quote is Claire and Owen are getting ready to set off through the woods. And Claire's looking at Owen and she like unbuttons her like shirt that she's wearing and she has a tank top underneath. And then she like ties her shirt together to make kind of like a crop top. And she kind of like puts her hands on her hips. And then Owen's kind of just staring for a second. And he's like, what's that supposed to mean? And she goes, it means I'm ready to go. I like that. And then the 2 brothers are on the ferry over to the island in the beginning. And the older brother's eyeing some chicks. And the younger brother's like, What do you think's gonna happen just staring at them?
That's a good one. He fucking got his brother there too.
Nice going, man.
And then my favorite, I keep forgetting the main girl's name, and I just said it.
Claire.
Okay. Claire and Owen are trying to track down the boys. They're lost in the woods in the park. And Claire is like, can't you catch their scent or something? And Owen is like, what? I was in the Navy, not the Navajo.
It's a good line. Abel, what you got, bitch?
I didn't really get one, but I just thought this was a funny moment. The two kids are watching the Mosasaurus experience. And at the end, he goes, the Mosasaurus is cool. It has 88 teeth. And then the older brother, maybe this is before the Mosasaurus. I don't remember. He's just talking about the Mosasaurus. The Mosasaurus is cool. It had 88 teeth. And the older brother goes, yeah, you want to see something else cool? And it's just a hard cut to a Mercedes product placement. I thought that was a little disgusting.
That's
the only quote I can write down.
They really cut in. They fully just... Mercedes is
it's
a
like the
bold
center of the
choice.
shot for like 10 seconds.
It is. There's a lot of Mercedes in this. Mine is like a whole monologue. Okay? It's when the CEO is talking to the scientist, Henry Wu, I want to say.
Yep.
You're acting like we're engaging in some kind of mad science, but we are doing what we've done from the beginning. Nothing in Jurassic World is natural. We have always filled the gaps in the genome with the DNA of other animals. And if their genetic code was pure, many of them would look quite different. But you didn't ask for reality, you asked for more teeth. And then they keep arguing, and this is probably the hardest line in the I think it's the hardest line in the series. Because monster is a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat.
Yeah, I like that line.
It's a good line. And I like that they address, like, yeah, these are products. These aren't dinosaurs. They're weird products that we put together.
They should have feathers.
They should have feathers. Velociraptors weren't that big. They were actually pretty tiny. There was a species of a species related to Velociraptor that is that big. It's called a Utah raptor. But yeah, most dinosaurs were like extremely. They had.
We talked about it last week.
I did. They had lots of feathers. They weren't as like. So they have a term for it in not in paleontology. There's a thing that when you make an artist rendition of an animal, they call it shrink wrapping, right? And it's where you just basically draw the bone structure and then you put skin on it without muscle mass or fat or like hair, right? And a thing I like that they've started doing, or that artists have started doing, is they've taken modern animals and they shrink wrapped them and they look like fucking monsters. Like if you take a hippo skull and you shrink wrap it, it's one of the most terrifying things you'll ever see in your life. Whereas if you look at a hippo, it's got a bunch of fat stores. It just looks kind of like a big aquatic pig. But a lot of scientists...
That's how we got our current depictions of dinosaurs.
We just took a fucking skeleton and we drew the skeleton but with skin on it. Whereas if you
These fuckers were probably fat.
Oh, T-Rex, the modern depictions of T-Rex, they're chunky boys. They're chunks. Big fat head.
On the r/chonkers posting pictures of T-Rex.
Dude, he's a chunky boy.
Look at my big boy. All right, shall we rate this movie?
Let's do it. Abel, you go first.
I go first.
Yeah, you go first.
I went first last time.
No, you didn't.
Because you don't like dinosaurs.
You like fucking trains or whatever you like.
For my opinion.
You're gonna... Buddy, consider yourself ostracized.
Yeah, this movie, for being a kind of bland corporate product style, like franchise revival legacy sequel kind of movie, I think it turned out really good. Nice, quick, tight runtime, nice pacing, fun characters, humorous moments, never really overstays its welcome. Just a kind of a straightforward, like, what if Jurassic Park was actually open and then everything got fucked kind of movie. There are, like, problems with, like, some of the stupider aspects of it regarding, like, the Indominus Rex and just how the park safety doesn't work. But, like, you wouldn't have a movie if that wasn't in there. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I do enjoy it and will watch it again in the future.
Mason, what you got?
I feel like after hearing everyone's opinions on it, I think the only criticism that I can really put my finger on is, yes, they could have been more inventive or creative with the twist, and done that better, or a little less predictable, I guess, in the direction that the movie went. But other than that, yeah, as a reboot, like years later, follow-up sequel, and with the added special effects now, and I think everyone in it is pretty good. I think it's done pretty flawlessly. Besides, like, they just could have been more inventive, I guess. I think I'm just going to dock it 1. I think I'm going to say 9.
All right.
Damn.
Okay. That's fair. That's what I thought you were going to give it. I personally, I am going to give this an 8. And there's a couple reasons why. Like I said, there's like a couple moments in this movie where it took me out of it because I was like, that doesn't make any sense, right? 2, it's a reboot. So I'm not going to give it a 10 because it's not an original thought. You know what I mean? Which is stupid. But I just feel like, I don't know. It's not a direct sequel where they're like introducing like new things based off new characters and giving people new arcs. It's like it's a franchise revival. I don't know. I think they could have, there's some writing things that I think they could have done a lot better. And there's some that, there's some like story beats that I think they could have done a lot better. But actually, no, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Fuck it. I think this is a B+ movie. I don't think it's an A. I don't think it's perfect. But I think it's a solid movie that is deserving.
Why don't you just rate it on
rewatches.
a grade scale if you want to do that?
Because we are. Abel, I don't understand what you're talking about. A grade scale is a 10-point scale.
And you can also then you can line it up with whatever other scale you're imagining. And you can like correlate and line up whatever that rank correlates to on this scale.
Abel, I don't know how to tell you this. A 10-point scale is just a fractionalized 100-point scale, and a 100-point scale is what a grade scale is. That's what they are.
I fucking understand that. What I'm saying is a grade scale is for students in a classroom, and this 10-point scale that we're using is for professionals making a movie.
Right.
And I don't feel like meeting a standard, like a teachable standard is different than you should know what you're doing, you know?
We've also clarified in the past that these are our opinions, and each of our opinions is subjective to what we personally think of it.
I also am on record that grading movies and or art on any type of 10-point to 100-point scale, it seems ridiculous and reductive and also like kind of pedantic. So I'm going to get pedantic with it because that's the idea of it. It's a pedantic score. That's what it is. So yeah, I'm doing it on a grade scale. B+, 8.5.
Okay.
9.
Boom.
A-.
Give me some, Mason. Give me some. Give me some.
I punched
And Abel gave... And Abel gave it a 7.
If I was putting this on a grade scale, I would give it more of like a B-.
Okay, so that's like an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you gave it a 7.
Doing it on that because these are separate things in my head.
But mathematically, no.
Mathematically,
which is why most ratings should be like, I liked it for A, B, and C reasons. I didn't like it for A, B, and C reasons, and like I would recommend it or I wouldn't recommend it.
There's this fucking guy that I found on Letterboxd who grades every movie like he's watching like a baseball game, where he's like, I'll give them a maximum of 5 points for cinematography. I'll give them a maximum of 10 points for acting, and out of 100, like that's my score.
He does a fully stacked out movie. That's great. That's what you want.
Like so like if you have a score for editing, like 5 points out of 100 are for editing, and you watch Birdman, which is all one shot, so they don't really cut at all. Like, it can't be a 10 out of 10 movie because it needs to have good editing, and there wasn't any editing in the movie.
But yeah, there was, because that's part of the editing, because they didn't take it all in one take.
That's fair, but like you see what I mean, though. Like,
and also editing is color grading and ADR and
the movie Flow, which is all animals with no voice acting. That has no actors involved in it.
Do they make animal sounds?
I think that it was all like stock sounds.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I like it because he's taken the pedantic point scale and he's done it. He's done the thing.
It doesn't feel like you're evaluating art at that point. It feels like you're checking off boxes. Whereas I feel like you could still get like an evaluation aspect from art, with like a 10-point scale, and it's more like enjoyment plus evaluation, you know. Because if I was to evaluate every movie like as objective as I could, like, I feel like I would have rated this movie a little bit lower because it's not really doing anything new. I like it. I like Jurassic World as a movie.
Yeah. So you gave it a C.
No, I gave it a 7. There's a big difference.
No. I think you'll find... I point to my earlier statement about math, and I think you'll find... I don't know, I don't like number scales. I don't like them. But it's fine. I like that we do it. I think it's fun.
Okay. I'm going to get you to crack on this at some point.
I don't think you are, because I don't like them. I genuinely... I think
no, not on that specific point, but just on the direct translation from like a school grade scale to a out of 10 score.
So it's there's no like debate on something that's like factually written out numerically, and it's a predetermined scale that we've had all our lives.
I understand that you're not thinking of it in terms of that lens, but what I'm telling you is mathematically, that's the grade you gave it. I'm not saying that's how much you enjoyed it. I'm saying mathematically your score is this letter grade.
Yeah, but I think that's a silly way to look at it.
Right, but it's a number scale. I think a number scale is a silly way to look at art. Because you can't grade art like you would grade a math test. No. Is my point. Yes, exactly. So why would you use the same scale? Which is what a 10-point scale is. It's a number scale. Yeah. That's my point. You see what I'm saying?
We'll resume this another time.
Special episode debating the validity of 10-point scales.
Patreon exclusive.
We're going to have an Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton level debate over... have we been up to anything? I haven't really been up to anything.
No, I haven't watched much. I started watching season 3 of Daredevil because I committed a couple summers ago when I was injured and couldn't work. And I was just like sitting on my ass every day. I was watching a bunch of TV. I was like, you know what? It sounds like a really good use of my time. I'm going to watch all the Defenders shows. And I made it through a few of them, And then I just kind of lost steam when I had to watch Jessica Jones season 2. I was like, I can't do this, man. I'm not capable of doing this. So I totally stopped. But then the new Daredevil show came out, and I was like, I kind of want to watch that, but then I never got around to it because I'm not caught up yet. Now I'm watching it while I'm doing chores and stuff. I listen to a little bit of music. I've never really listened to the band Fish before, but I heard my dad listening to it while I was visiting home last weekend. I was like, I should listen to that. So I listened to their live performance album from when they played The Gorge in '98. I listened to it while I was at work, so I wasn't fully paying attention the whole time, but pretty good stuff. And then today I listened to the 10-year anniversary re-release of Product by Sophie, which has actually never been published in its full form on streaming services until 2 days ago. So I listened to that. I'm sure you guys are not familiar with her, but she did like really cool, groundbreaking, like electronic music. Like I wouldn't even call it like EDM. It was just like electronic, like kind of the foundations for what we call hyperpop now. And yeah, got at least one Grammy nomination, worked with a bunch of people, and then tragically passed away in like a freak accident a few years ago. So they released a posthumous album that I haven't listened to yet because I was kind of like, I thought we weren't doing this, and now it's out. Apparently it was pretty much done when she died, so maybe I'll check it out at some point, but then this album was like her first. And yeah, really cool shit, really groundbreaking production. Flume is another artist who I would compare her style to, although they're definitely different artists. It's a cool album. It just feels like kind of like a thesis statement for a career that was supposed to span decades, and it only really spanned like 6 or so years, which is shitty. But yeah, I'd give it like an 8. And that's what I've been listening to, watching, whatever. How about you guys?
Mason, you got anything?
Today I did listen to a new album from H. He's a British rapper who I like. Album's called 4. It's pretty good. My mood on songs always ends up changing over time, but right now I'd say my favorite is probably Loud. But yeah, that's basically it.
Dope. My friend that Mason knows, but Abel doesn't know, so not a college friend, is making me watch Doctor Who. And Mason, how do I feel about fucking British people? How do I feel about them?
There's no love lost there.
There's none. I think they're very silly. But Doctor Who it's a bit of fun. Very British. Fun fact, I had a lot of family members and this same friend request that I watch the show Heartstopper on Netflix, the little romance story. And when they asked for my rating, I was like, I liked everything about Heartstopper except that it was so British. It made me mad how British that show was. Genuinely. I was genuinely upset that they were wearing short shorts and polos to fucking gym class, and that they had boys and girls schools. That's just a ridiculous concept. It's a dumb fucking concept to have boys and girls schools.
When we do TV shows, can we watch The Crown?
We can, but Mason, are you prepared for a monarchy rant? Like, yeah. I will spend that whole episode doing a monarchy rant. Like, the whole thing.
Have at 'em.
But yeah, I started watching Doctor Who. Bit of fun sci-fi. That's all I did.
That means we're going into what we're watching next week. Do you guys know what we're watching next week off the top of your domes?
Isn't it? It's Scuba Man.
Scuba Man, yes. He explores undersea. Sorry, Superman. That's what it's called. 1978. Rich Donner directed.
Are we doing the Donner cut or no? Donner. That's Superman 2. Never mind.
I've never seen any of the sequels to this.
Superman 2 is really good.
But I've seen the first one.
My grandfather's name is Steve, and he was a certified diver.
So Mason is the descendant of Scuba Steve.
I'm the direct descendant of Scuba Steve.
That's crazy. That's impressive. Anyway, I think that's the episode, folks.
Yeah, we'll be watching that in preparation for James Gunn's new flick.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, see ya. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.